What's up, y'all? It's that Sports Kid here with my 2023 Florida Gators season predictions. Let's get right into it. We are going to do just a little bit of a off-season review. Going to go over some sort of stats. The Gators 2022 record was 6-7 after a bowl loss to Oregon State. I think it was. The 2023 season over/under odds win total is 5.5. So odds makers are not liking Florida to go to a bowl game. Not great for Billy Napier's second year as head coach. If he doesn't make a bowl game, I think he might be put on the hot seat and get fired like midway through next season if it's still not going well. Let me know in the comments how you think Billy Napier is doing. In terms of returning production, Florida has 6 returning offensive players and 5 returning defenders. 11 players were drafted from Florida, including their star quarterback, Anthony Richardson. For recruiting, this last recruiting cycle was ranked 12th in the country. The transfer portal was ranked 16th. A lot of quality transfers brought in, but the true freshmen, these are kind of a big deal. Jakeem Jackson, he is a high 4-star cornerback. Kelby Collins is another high 4-star defensive lineman, and Cameron Jones is another very good defensive lineman. 2 of those players are from Florida. Collins is from Alabama. In total, the class consisted of 14 4-stars and 8 3-stars. 6 of those players total are defensive linemen, whether that be regular D-tackle or edge rushers. 6 of them were D-linemen total. Transfers this was a very good transfer class. Their top transfer player was RJ Moten. He plays safety and is transferring in from the University of Michigan. The second best player is... Oh boy, I'm not going to be able to say that name. You can see it on the screen right here. Not even going to try to pronounce it. Goodwin, he plays offensive line. He is transferring in from Kentucky. And Caleb Banks is a D lineman transferring in from Louisville. In total, 12 transfers are entering the program. 6 4-stars, 6 3-stars. Pretty good offseason, I'd say, for the Gators. This is kind of what we have been wanting to look at. Stats are just stats, but this is the important stuff right here. The football schedule. We go week by week. Game 1 to game 12. Their bye weeks would be like week 13 or 14 or something. Schedule difficulty. This is the most difficult schedule in the whole country. Not just my opinion. Other sources factor into this, but this is a very, very difficult schedule. I'll run through it real quick. We have back-to-back Pac-12 champions Utah on the road. We have Tennessee, who threatened for a playoff spot for a long time last year. We have South Carolina, who knocked off several top 5, top 10 schools last year. We have defending national champions back-to-back Georgia. I mean, if you have back-to-back national champions on your schedule, it automatically is much more difficult. We have SEC West champions LSU, and we have a Florida State team coming off of a 10-win season, and they are definitely threatening to make a run in the ACC. Absolutely deserving of the A+ score on the schedule. Week 1 at Utah. This will be a very tough game for Florida. It's the start of the season, getting ready. Both schools are, obviously, but Utah has home field advantage. They are quite good. They still have Cam Rising. Cam Rising is the Utah quarterback. Somehow he is still there. This is like my 3rd year. I think I'll probably be watching him play at Utah. Wild stuff. I think Utah does have an edge there, and they'll probably walk away with a victory. Sadly for Florida, I don't think it's going to happen. It could. I think Utah will probably win by two scores. I'm thinking 10 points or 14 points for the Utes in week 1. Week 2 is McNeese. They are an FCS school in Louisiana. Florida should totally win that game, no problem. Their first of the season. Sort of easy, crummy, cheesy win. Anyway, next week we have Tennessee, who is still pretty good. This will be a home game, a second home game of the season, and the first SEC game of the season. I am going to put this as a close loss, as I see the Tennessee Volunteers being probably the second best team in the SEC East. I don't think Florida is going to beat Tennessee, even though it's a home game, and it gets kind of wild in the swamp. I think the Vols are going to walk away with that win. Florida has a lot to prove, and I don't see them being that great, just honestly, like overall. I did kind of forget to go over this ratings for the team. My offense, I'm giving them a 7.5 out of 10. Above average, definitely. SEC quality, but lower SEC quality. Defense, not going to be as great as the offense. 6.5 out of 10. Again, those are personal opinions from research and data I've gathered. Let's go back here. Tennessee, I am thinking that's going to be another close loss for Florida. Home game, Tennessee has a very explosive offense, even though a lot of their players are no longer on the team from last year. I think they're still going to be very good. Next week is the Charlotte 49ers, residing in Charlotte, North Carolina. I think this is just going to be another sort of McNeese type game. Charlotte might put up some points, but Florida's going to walk away with a big victory in that game. Really, that's it. No problem. Here we have Kentucky. Kentucky might be the third, maybe the fourth best team in the SEC East. I'm thinking third right now. Sort of a toss-up is what I'm thinking. They're playing at Kroger Field in Lexington. Kentucky also loses their star quarterback to the draft in the second round, but they did bring in Devin Leary, who was quite good at North Carolina State. Brought him in through the transfer portal. I think Kentucky kind of has sort of a similar situation to Florida, where they probably have some talent. I don't know if it's going to be phenomenal, though. Toss-up, definitely in that game. I think Florida could win it. I also think Kentucky could win it. Next week, we have Vanderbilt. Sorry, Vandy. I root for you every week. Every week. But I don't think it's going to happen this year. It did happen last year. Vanderbilt beat Florida last year. I don't think it can happen in back-to-back years. Sorry, Commodores. Also, I hate your new logo, by the way. Who else? If you hate Vandy's logo, comment about it. Yeah, I don't like it. That should be an easier victory for Florida. Close win, meaning like within 17 points. Big win is like 21 plus. Close win could also be like 4 points, but it should not be a 20 plus point victory for Florida against Vandy. It should be a little bit closer. But a victory for sure for the Gators. Next week we have South Carolina. South Carolina is a road game, and the Gamecocks are coming off of a bye week, meaning they are all refreshed, recharged, and ready to go again. I honestly don't think that Florida is going to win that game. So on the road, South Carolina, I know they're very bad typically, but they got a new head coach and he's changing. I think they got it. I don't know. South Carolina's getting better, and they're gonna beat Florida, I think, on the road for the Gators, and the Gamecocks are off of a bye week. Next we have Georgia. I see this as a big loss. I know these two schools are arch rivals, and usually that can make games a lot better, a lot closer in terms of score. Florida State, I think, for a while last year against the Bulldogs, but Georgia's coming off a bye week. just like South Carolina is, and I think they are going to just be the better team, score more points, and the Bulldogs are going to win that one. Next week we have Arkansas. Arkansas is going in the toss-up category. I don't think Arkansas is going to be much better than last year. Maybe 7-5 instead of 6-6 in the regular season. Arkansas, another team, third week in a row where Florida plays a team coming off of a bye week. I think that Arkansas is going to win. Well, I think Florida has a chance. I think they'll be on a losing streak at this point. This is sort of a revenge game, coming back, trying to finish sort of strong in the last 4 games. I think Florida probably could win it, but Arkansas also has a chance in that game. That's why it's in the toss-up category. 2 schools that I think are both just meh right now, because they have both had their times in history, but right now they're meh. Next is LSU. LSU, defending SEC West champs, I think they are going to fall off just a little bit. Not by much, but I think LSU will not be bad. Close loss. I think LSU will probably be about as good as South Carolina. I wonder if they play. I'll have to check. Because that would probably be a good game. On the road in Death Valley, it is very difficult to play there, especially at night. It's basically a cheat code for LSU. Just another factor why I think LSU is going to win. The Tigers do have a lot of returning talent. They aren't going to be, as I said, they aren't going to be bad. But Florida, it's not shaping up well so far this season, as I'm looking at it. Yikes. Game 11, not necessarily week 11. Game 11 is versus Missouri. I am going to put that as a close win for Florida. On the road in Missouri. I think Missouri might be the only team I don't know what town they play in. I should figure that out. On the road against Missouri, I think Florida does have a good chance there. They probably should win that game. Mizzou, I don't see Mizzou improving very much from the past years. Florida, they're probably maybe on a losing streak. Maybe not. Hopefully not for the Gator fans. But I think they actually do go in and beat Missouri, who should probably be one of the 2 worst teams in the SEC. Finally, we have Florida State. Bitter arch rivals between UF and FSU. Going back to that close loss category. Close loss being like anywhere from 1 point to 14 or 17 points. Very tough schedule. FSU has good chances at winning the ACC. I think they might actually be the favorite right now in terms of the betting odds. They're going to be very good. I could see Florida pulling an upset there. It is a home game. Anything can happen in rivalry games, really. Florida could, but right now I'm thinking that FSU does win that game. This is an extremely tough schedule, as I said. Number 1 in the country. Florida should get wins over McNeese and the Charlotte 49ers. 2 wins. Probably 2 wins over Vanderbilt and Missouri to get to 4 wins. And then I think they beat either Kentucky or Arkansas for a 5th win. And then I don't really see them getting another win unless it's a big upset. So sorry, Florida. My projected record is 5-7. If you disagree, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Tell me why. I don't think Florida is going to be fantastic. I could see them pulling upsets in some of these games. I think Florida LSU is sort of a rivalry. I don't know if it's a bitter rivalry, but it is a rivalry. I think 5-7 is probably a good prediction. The cap could probably be maybe 6 or 7 wins. I can't imagine them winning more than 7 games though in this schedule. good luck. Good luck, Florida. If you, as I said, let me know in the comments what you think about Florida. If you're a Gators fan, or if you're not and you're just a fan in general, and you know a lot about the Gators, um, do they have a chance at running the table in the SEC? Are they going to win 8 games? Are they going to win no games? They'll win. They'll beat McNeese at least. Yeah, those are my season predictions for the Florida Gators. That's all I have to say. This guy's making a funny face right there. Um, Sorry, distraction. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one, peace.